and be making bank.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Just living the dream.
I'm always like, why did I go into speech pathology?
Well, that's a good question. Like, it's what you really wanted to do, right?
Oh yeah, like from high school. Okay, everyone's always asked me that, and I'm like, no, I didn't know what I wanted to do for years. So my mom was like, we're gonna take you to career counseling. So in grade 12, I went to a career counselor where I had to fill out all of these surveys and stuff. And the number one thing was speech pathology. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do now.
Were they personality tests or?
Yeah, personality tests and like, how like driven you are in terms of like helping people or like business and finance, whatever. So I was like, okay, this is it. This is my path. Here I go.
So you didn't know if you really wanted it? Like, that seems like just a formula. Like, anyone can write a computer program to calculate that.
Totally. No, I know. It seems really ridiculous. But, Tori, my friend Tori, whose sister has Down syndrome. So I always, like, really gravitated towards her. And then I did some observations with Allie, her sister. And I watched some SLPs. And I was like, that seems cool. And then I didn't have any fucking clue how to get there or like how to go about it. And it was really hard. Like you had to get all your prereqs like solidified in first year. And then you had to start volunteering like first year to make sure you get all your references. And I totally regret not doing an exchange program, but I didn't do that because I wanted my professors to know me so I could get a good reference.
Yeah.
Which after the fact, I realized because I was I was a TA in grad school, and the professor that I was the TA for, she was on the admissions committee, and I was like, so how do you guys like actually pick? And she's like, we line up everybody's GPA and we draw a line. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
So you're putting all this effort in for nothing?
For nothing. No, there's absolutely no reason.
Because you didn't get into the specialty you wanted right away.
Right. No, they lost my...
I remember that.
Yeah, they lost my application the first year, so I waited.
So, but why... So did you... Because that's an easy moment to quit right there.
Yeah.
So why did you jump in and do that extra year? Like, when did you know you really wanted to do this? Like, because to do that extra year, you'd have to decide, okay, I actually really want to do
this. Yeah. I think... Because we had to I thought I needed to volunteer to get references, so I was volunteering a lot.
When you did those things, you thought you had to do.
Now I like it. And the courses I was taking, I loved, like linguistics and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is really cool. And then for the year off, I worked at the clinic that I volunteered at, or that I watched Allie. It was a school for Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Ended up getting a job there in September as an aide. And then I worked in there for the whole year, and I was like, okay, if I don't get in this year, then I'm quitting.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you had that limit.
Yeah. But then
I remember you telling me, though, sorry to cut you off, you remember you telling me that time you were so certain you were going to make it. Not from an arrogant point of view, but like you just really believed it was going to happen.
Yeah, I did. I started to waver for sure, but there was a point
you sounded very confident.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you about it.
I'm going to get in this year. I'm pretty sure, because there was multiple factors, like if you wait a year, your first year, your GPA gets knocked off, which was my worst year, obviously. So
for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So my GPA went up, so that was a factor.
The factor.
The factor turns out the only factor.
Yeah.
So there was that, and I hoped I would. Felt like I was confident enough.
Well, you were doing the whole positive vibes movement back then.
I had to.
Still do?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah? You're still in that energy zone?
Yeah. Oh, some days at work.
Can you explain what that is?
Yes.
Because I don't know.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, because Trish is in that game.
She is in the game?
She's in that energy game.
Yeah.
And she always talks to me about my energy and her energy, and I'm like 40% on board.
Do you have rocks?
No. Come on, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it's that more voodoo-ish stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, and it's been from high school, like The Secret. Right? Have you heard of The Secret? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically...
Wait, was The Secret a book, or was it an actual secret and the book was about it?
The Secret is it's a book about the secret.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. don't really know what you're asking there, but
he's asking, what is it about? Like, give us this energy lowdown.
But basically, it's like the energy that you're throwing out to the world. Actually, you'll like get it in return. So if you're throwing out negative vibes all the time, like, oh, I'm gonna get cancer. I know it. I'm sick, or I'm feeling sick all the time. Oh, I'm so sick and tired. And then you actually do get sick.
Yeah.
It's like a cyclical thing where the energy that you're sending out, your shitty, negative Eeyore energy, you're getting it right back, and it's hard to get out of it, right?
So you believe that what you put out, energy-wise, whatever you extrapolate that to be, like your attitude, the way you treat people, that comes back directly back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Thomas and I look at life more, I don't know, less romantically.
Are you about to put words in my mouth?
I don't want to put words in my mouth. That's why I'm trying to be careful. I'm pausing.
I want to ask, you said, I think you said Eeyore energy?
Eeyore energy.
It's true. I glossed over that one.
I saw Andrew. He was like...
I made that up. That's not actually in the book. But you know the kind of people that are Eeyores.
You know, there's some massive bad vibes out there.
Oh my gosh.
There's someone I work with, or don't work with, sorry. I completely changed that. Someone who works in my office.
Okay.
It's like I don't even want to be near them.
No.
Yeah.
They're not fun to be around. And I mean, this is kind of stupid, but it can translate to, like, Jill always does this. Positive parking karma. Okay, this is just in the most simple form. You get to the mall and you're like, oh fuck, it's busy, and then you're like, positive parking karma. I'm gonna find a parking spot, and then within minutes, even if you just drive around loop once, you're gonna find a parking spot. It works every goddamn time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit fluffy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I will probably try that.
Yeah, but you actually have to believe it. That's the thing. Okay. You have to be like, I'm not positive parking vibe.
Fucking car parking.
Trish would say the exact same thing and believe that.
Yes.
But what I was gonna say, I don't want to put words in Thomas' mouth, was that we're more of the random chaos theory sort of.
Oh, I don't
outlook.
know. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, just like things. There's no reason.
There's no. Oh, okay.
Not much reason. It just sort of happens.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's tough to control.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's like everything that you think will happen, but if you do truly believe something, I did feel that I was going to be a speech pathologist.
I know. I remember
totally
that. You were so confident.
So I was like, I'm going to do it. At some point, I'm going to get there, and then I will. And I'm sure that in most aspects of life, if I was like, you know what, I'm going to be a doctor now, I think I would do it. I'd be able to find a way to do it because I believe in my bones that I can do it. Or like most goals that you set out that you really want to achieve, you will achieve it. Like I really wanted to play soccer in university. I was like determined, and then I played soccer in university. No,
I think there's something there.
Yeah.
I just haven't really wrapped my head around it because I've had instances like that too. I even remember going back to, it was a long time ago. I think it was elementary school. There was like this fair where you had to make a poster and like, anyway, there was first, second, third place. And I was like, I don't want to be first because I don't want to go to like provincials. I thought it was a lot of work. Provincials of this fair.
Yeah.
You had to make like a new alien. It was kind of cool. Anyway, I was like, I just want to be second because that's the best case scenario if I don't get first. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, but then I think, well, how many times do you play that back?
Right.
And how many times would that actually happen?
You just didn't deserve first.
Yeah. But it was the secret,
well
Thomas.
Enough, yes.
But I've had other instances like that where like I truly believe something and things seem to gravitate there.
Yeah.
I can't really wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And I haven't wrapped my head around it if it's just like you're ignoring all the times that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because then you can just include probability in the equation.
Yeah.
Or if you can truly believe that you were destined to do that because of the way you felt.
Yeah.
I can't really decide between those two. Do you know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. And I think that the negative people are always, so they're like, okay, like they get hit by a car and like, oh, fuck, like I got hit by a car, that sucks. I knew this was going to happen. Like,
yeah, you hear that.
Now.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they lose their job. And they're like, fuck, I knew this was going to happen. Like, and then like, oh, bankrupt, like all of these things, but they're in this cyclical negative train.
There's something there.
Yeah.
There's something in that scenario, and there's something in the scenarios of people who are more positive.
Yeah.
Like,
just actually,
you're a great example of that, and Trish is a great example of that. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah, Trish is
most of the things that she really wished or willed just seemed to happen.
Yeah. If you want it enough, I do think
But how could it, but it just doesn't make sense mathematically. Like,
Yeah.
what is this energy going out and how is it coming back? Like,
I mean,
can you
the
explain
secret
it?
goes into it, but it's like particles of energy, right? And the particles, the more particles you have, it's like you're building an energy wave.
Is this supported by physics?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. You got to read it and tell me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I do think that, like, I've also learned a lot with, like, spirituality as when I went to India. I really, like, gravitated towards Buddhism and energy and spirit. Like, I don't know. I'm not like, oh, there's an afterlife. I do believe that we're gonna go to heaven if you're good. But I do think that they're all still around. And I think
Really?
like my grandma, I swear to God she's with me. I was so close with my grandma. I love her so much, and she just passed away in January of last year. And I can feel her presence with me all of the time.
Are you just convincing yourself? Of
I
that?
might be, but
Does it matter, I guess?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If I think she's there, like, or like a random thought will pop up about her or something, and then I'll be like, oh, hey. Or like, this is really hokey probably, and I know a lot of people don't actually believe it, but like,
Do you see ghosts?
I see ghosts. No,
Oh my
that's not what
god!
it was.
Oh, it took you so seriously.
It was, I
see dead
did.
people.
I swear I smelled her perfume one day. Like, it might have been somebody else.
Were you
walking
in
by the
Shoppers?
street. No, I wasn't in Shoppers.
But I think your brain is so powerful you can convince yourself of that.
Probably.
Like I've heard of scenarios where women have been so desperate to get pregnant and convinced themselves they were getting pregnant that they started like to lactate and stuff, even though their body wasn't
Really?
biologically pregnant.
Oh.
Just their mind was so focused on it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just that's just an example of your mind being very
Super
powerful.
strong. It might have made something up.
I'm not taking away from it.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm shitting on all that stuff. I'm not. I just
Most people shit on it. It's okay.
yeah. No, I'm not actually shitting on it. I think it's interesting. I just haven't made my mind up about
Yeah.
it, and I try to play devil's advocate. So that's
Yeah,
why I
no.
wonder, like, maybe you convinced yourself. Or,
I probably did in that instance. Probably. And then sometimes I'm like, do I smell it now?
Yeah.
But the one thing, this is like sort of well known that people who have like crossed over, they passed away, they send little messages through dimes. Have you heard of this?
Nope.
Not whatsoever.
Not at all. Okay. Well, it's definitely a thing. If you Google it, you will definitely find it.
Well, Google is everything, so yes.
Yeah, right. But it's not just me. It's like Stephanie Peterson. Her grandma died,
Okay.
and you just start seeing like you might be looking for them, or you might.
For sure, you're looking for them.
Okay, but just wait.
Sorry, Chantal.
I can't remember the last time I saw a dime though, like on the street.
It's like
Random.
can I want to interject for 1/2 second and give an example. It's like when someone buys a new car and you're like, oh, they just bought this new Ford Focus. Then you see that car all the time.
Right, because you're like looking for
Yeah.
it. Your brain's looking for it. No, I don't disagree. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples,
Go on,
and
yeah.
you can just do what you will with it. On Eric's wedding, okay, all of my grandparents have passed away, and I was like, I'm sure she's here. Like, we wanted her to make it to the wedding, obviously, and then we're taking pictures by this fireplace, and then I push over the little couch or something, and there's nothing under it except one little dime, and I was like, oh, that's me. Like,
Really?
And then I tell my dad about it. I'm like, Dad, I found a dime today. She's with us. And then he's like, I reached into my pocket, his suit pocket that he hadn't worn, his tuxedo, for 10 years. Dime. Okay, coincidence maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
And
could be
then-
not. Yeah.
Okay, so other ways that like spirit could show up. So a good friend of mine's mom passed away, like really tragically, it's really sad. She got hit by a car and died. So, but through all of that, she was engaged to this really fucking shitty dude. And with the death of her mom and stuff, lots of skeletons started creeping up about how shitty of a person he was. And they ended up breaking off and stuff, but in a really terrible way. Anyways, she was telling her friends this she was like, you know what? I honestly, if there's any good that came out of my mom's passing is that I didn't end up marrying this guy. And the minute she said that, a light bulb shattered.
I
Right?
thought you were going to say like a dime hit her in the head.
I thought you were going to say a dime drop from the ceiling.
Okay,
So you're saying there's these really weird coincidences.
Yes.
Like, if it's too weird sometimes. Okay.
It is. I think it's too weird. But I think the people that are needing that connection are looking for it more.
That's the one thing that I always bring up when I talk about, like, have conversations with people about life and the meaning of things. It's like, someone has a certain outlook, and I tell them, well, don't you think you want to believe that?
Yeah.
That's why you're gravitating towards it.
Oh, yeah.
If you totally release yourself from what you want the truth to be,
Yeah.
then maybe it's not what you think it is.
Right.
So that that's what I'm trying to get at with, like, looking for that stuff. I'm not saying it's not true.
Yeah.
But I just wonder.
Yeah, well, so my mom, for example, I'm like, I swear to God, I can't even think of all the examples of my grandma being around, but like a song will come up as this exact time that I'm thinking about her or something, or just.
But what about all those times that you think about her and the song doesn't come up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm focusing on the times that they are together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's totally true.
I think humans are like, that's your nature.
Well, it makes you feel better.
Of course.
You do things that make you feel better.
Yeah.
So my mom is always like so sad. She's like, well, why isn't she visiting me? And I'm
Maybe
like,
if she looked for it, she'd find it.
I was like, well.
Pay more attention.
Pay more attention then. Like, she's dropping dimes everywhere. So.
Dimes. Before we move on from dimes,
Okay.
what's the theory behind dimes specifically?
I don't know that.
Oh,
I
okay,
tried to
okay.
research it a little bit, but Steph was finding dimes fucking everywhere, like piles and mountains of dimes. And she has a dime tattooed on her ankle now because she feels so strongly about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? I don't want to take away from anyone who does that, because I think if it gives you meaning and purpose, yeah, of course you should do it.
Yeah.
It's not as much fun as the way I think, which is just molecules running into each other randomly.
Right.
That's
yeah.
less exciting.
That's
But
no, I don't like that.
I don't totally think, I'm not convinced of that. There's some energy scenarios that I think there's something there.
Okay.
Like Trish and I have talked about our energies and the way we interact and stuff, and it's like it seems to be something that drew us together, or that still keeps us drawn together.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced either way. I just like to have that conversation. So
It's an interesting conversation to have. And I think that for me, I need it because I need to feel like I have that connection. Like if my parents passed away, I would be fucking devastated. Or like if anybody really close to me passed on, like I need to feel like they're there. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. I just need to feel like they're watching out for me, or something like.
Don't you think that reaffirms the point of that people are just looking to cling on to something?
No, I do. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
you don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to stop me from thinking that
Yeah.
way. But I know, like, my brother's not like that. But he doesn't need it then. He just doesn't have that missing, like, link or something. But there was another thing I was going to say about it. Wait, what was it?
While you're thinking.
Long Island Medium.
Oh, Long Island Medium?
Have you guys ever watched Long Island Medium?
Is that like
No.
Long Island, like Long Island, New York?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's this, like, have you heard of mediums?
Yes.
Mediums that can talk to spirit.
Oh, that bullshit.
Yeah.
We know his stance.
Tell me how you really feel.
I was just kidding. I mean, that's my knee-jerk reaction. But like I said, I don't disclude anything.
I know. Okay, well, basically, it's a show where these people come on and they just talk to her about people that have passed over. But there's nothing, they don't talk about who has died. They don't talk about any of that. They don't talk about how they died. She does not know any of it beforehand. This has been confirmed. These people, like, are doing crazy things. They'll, like, hide, like, a butterfly in their bra or something and be like, they'll think it. They'll be like, if this is real and if you're there, then you'll bring up the butterfly in my chest or something like that. Like, something super weird.
Yeah.
And she'll bring it up every fucking time. She'll be like, I'm getting the energy of this male that's been departed. What is the number? And then she's like scribbling, like, 6. Is this number 6 ringing a bell? And then, like, that was the date that he died. Or he died when he was 6 years old. Or whatever. Like,
Okay.
I swear to God, it's so floofy. Another example is a friend of mine whose mom had cancer, like, really, really severe breast cancer. She was in end stage. And her daughter was just trying to figure out how to cope with it and was like, okay, Mom, like, I just want you to be happy and I want to know that you're at peace. And she's like, okay, well, tell me what you want. Just I'll send you a sign that I'm at peace. And she's like, okay, I want a pink butterfly with purple or like black spots or something. I want to see that at some point. That will tell me that you're at peace. On the day of the funeral, it wasn't a real butterfly. It was a cake that was made that somebody just bought, and on it there was like a stem with a butterfly, a pink butterfly with like, it was like more specific than that. It was like purple dots and a blue tail or something. Like, I don't know.
Something that couldn't have been in coincidence.
Right.
Yeah. Or it doesn't seem like it could be
coincidence. And then there it was. And she's like, okay, Mom, I heard you. You're
That's
at peace.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's people you've seen in these shows that actually sort of cross that boundary.
Yeah.
Between those that passed and those that have not.
Yeah.
And you think that's actually happening?
I do.
Yeah, no, I have a tough time believing it, but
yeah,
I'm not discrediting it.
Yeah.
Because I think Trisha's told me about scenarios like that too.
Yeah.
And I listened to her and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced, but it's really cool.
Well, because if it's almost like if you do believe it, then there's like the whole other part of the world that you don't really understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But that goes into so many things about the world that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for me, it's the energies thing.
Yes.
I don't really understand it. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something huge.
I don't know.
But I'm learning about it.
Yeah.
It was funny that this is sort of just slightly off topic, but Trish once went to a palm reader, which. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? It's like going to a naturopath. If I went to a naturopath, Ryan would be like.
She went to this palm reader, and apparently she did read a lot of things about her and about us. And she said this thing that I laughed at. She said, the palm reader said,
okay.
Yeah, like, so your boyfriend's, she described me without knowing me. Obviously I wasn't there, and it was quite accurate.
Oh, wow.
It's like, is he like an expressive guy? Does he show his feelings?
Yeah.
And like, you know, does he wears hard on his sleeve? Is he come into a room and like, you know, has high energy? And it was like somewhat accurate.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And Trish's like, of course, like she's on that train. Like, yeah, of course.
Tell me more.
Yeah. This is the best thing ever. And she says to her, yeah, so you guys are going to spend many lifetimes together, not just this lifetime.
And Trisha's head exploded. Like, yes.
So she tells me this story. And I said, many lifetimes together. One wasn't enough.
No.
We're going to spend multiple lifetimes
all of the
together.
Lifetimes.
Yeah. I had to laugh.
World.
That's that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So maybe if, you know, you're in really feeling that energy, we finally found each other.
Right.
And we have
Meant
many
to be.
lifetimes to be together. Yeah. Who knows?
Isn't that a nice thought?
It's a nice thought.
I like that.
I think that stuff, for better for worse for myself, makes me feel more at peace, actually.
Yeah.
Because when I think about energies and karma and like that stuff, I think, you know what, it helps me have a good perspective on things. Like,
totally.
a lot of the small things that would normally make you upset don't bother you anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you know what, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I believe in myself. I believe in the people around me.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay.
Oh,
so
totally.
even if that's the only thing you take from good energies and spending time doing things you like and helping other people, if that's the only thing that comes out of it, it's worth it.
Yeah, and being good to other people.
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
Happen to you. I do think that.
Yeah.
But going back to the multiple lifetimes.
Multiple lifetimes together.
So I don't know if you guys have read that story recently of the first couple who both got M.A.I.D, so medical assistants in dying, together.
So I didn't understand you. They both got what?
M.A.I.D, medical assistants in dying.
Oh, is
Like
it a different country or something?
No, here
Like,
in
you
Toronto.
You're talking about euthanasia?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Medically assisted euthanasia, or
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
So they're like 94 and 96, this couple that's been together for like 70 years, and they both got granted.
Oh.
So they died on the same day, like the same time. And it was really a sweet story that was like, because normally it's for terminal illnesses like ALS, let's say. Lots of ALS people are getting it now and totally support it.
100% support it.
Fuck, you don't want to live like that. Cancer that's terminal. Where it gets a bit fuzzy is like, it's like people that are chronically depressed or like they've got these chronic conditions that are never actually going to get better, but you're not going to die from it soon. Like a chronic pain. Like I can't even imagine what it would be like to be in pain constantly, but you're not dying from it. And you're not dying from it anytime soon. So that's kind of like old age. They're in pain all the time.
Well, yeah, it's like almost like you're getting tortured all the time.
Right.
Tortured by this pain.
Exactly. It's terrible, but you are not dying anytime soon. Anyways, so you can't just get 2 doctors to sign off on killing you or like agreeing to like administer the medication that will kill you if you're just dying of old age, because you don't know when you're gonna die. But this was like one of the first cases where both of them got it. One of them had like heart failure, and then the other, they were like, well, we're not going to do it if one doesn't get it, because you have to get 4 doctors, 2 for each, that have to agree to it separately.
Okay.
So the one had like rheumatoid arthritis, like severe. It was the woman had severe rheumatoid arthritis, and it was just so bad that she wasn't sleeping anymore, and it was just like pain. So 2 doctors signed off on her, and then her husband was fairly healthy, and so they were like, nope. So then they're like, okay, I guess. And then she's like, because there's a huge article before they did it on them, and she's like, yeah, so then we, by some miracle, his health started to fail.
What the?
By some miracle. Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at miracles, yeah.
So I guess his heart started to fail, and then they got granted, and they had this like really lovely like party. It was like a flying away party where everyone came, and then they had this Last Supper of like oysters and lobster tails and stuff, and then like the reporter was there, I guess, and then was like, the husband looked at the wife and was like, are you ready to do this? And she's like, yep. And then they went upstairs, and then they died.
Wow.
I know.
That's insane.
Isn't that insane?
Why did he want to do it when he was originally healthy?
Because they wanted to die together. They didn't want to be without each other. They were like meant to be, and they're the type of people that will be together in many lifetimes.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I've heard stories like that, Thomas, where it's a died of a broken heart theory that comes out. Like when one person in a
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because your mind, after your partner dies, sort of gives up, and your body kind of follows.
Yeah.
So why would he want to go through that?
Yeah.
If she's near the end.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I don't want to be miserable.
Yeah.
And then die.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go with her.
And like holding hands with your loved one in the most peaceful way to die on earth.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
And
as long as you're old.
As long as you're old.
Like 25-year-olds can't start doing that.
Yeah. No, but it's a controversial. It's obviously a lot of people would think that's controversial, but to me it makes a lot of sense because if you're actually ready to go, like I don't think any of us here are. We have a lot of things we want to do.
I want to keep living.
Yeah, but if you actually are ready, why not?
Exactly.
Why not make it pain free?
Yeah.
I'm on the, what's it called? M.A.I.D?
M.A.I.D, not
MAD.
M.A.I.D.
I always use the word euthanasia. It sounds severe.
That's for like animals.
That's for animals.
Yeah. Euthanasia sounds. But
those old people got put down.
Yeah. Willingly, though. Willingly.
Yeah. They had a say in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of those interesting sort of controversies that have come up.
Yeah.
One of them is doctor-assisted. I don't want to say suicide. That makes it so
dark.
Doctor-assisted
is the correct term.
Like that's the same. Yeah.
Same
doctor-assisted passing.
Yeah.
M.A.I.D.
Yeah.
Other ones of like should abortions and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of those choices controversy that has come up. Yeah. Which is, as far as I'm concerned, from my point of view, I'm always every time pro-choice. If someone wants to do something, they should be able to do it.
Yeah. If they're educated enough.
Yeah.
A certain...
Because you know what? If they don't do it, I don't think they'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you're taking away from that person's happiness. But anyways, honestly, I didn't think we were going to talk about this energy stuff. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm not sold on that.
Yeah.
But I like your perspective because I feel good vibes from you.
Thanks.
Always whenever we hang out.
Well,
always
every
good
time.
vibes. It's always good vibes.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally.
No matter how long it's been, we've been friends for a long time, and
I know.
Yeah, it's always good vibes.
It's always, yeah.
So maybe there's some energy vibes there.
I think so.
Yeah, something.
And the way you are with your partner, I think your energies have to complement each other.
For sure.
Like they can't be like Ryan is a lower energy person than I am. I'm
Right.
way higher energy than him, but that works.
Yeah.
Like if we were both high energy all the time, no, I don't think it works as well.
No, you have to complement each other, whatever that combination is.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's jump ship. One hot topic between a lot of people.
Yes.
Is the gender equality, judgment of females and males in different scenarios. So
yes.
One thing that's interesting in modern society is the sort of slut-shaming vibe. I think it's gotten better over the years, but there seems to be a real huge double standard with sexuality in men and women. So why do you think that is, and what do you think about it?
I think that it's something that has been going on for so long. Like in our parents' generations before that, women were so oppressed, right? And again, like...
So what do you mean by oppressed? Like they couldn't express their sexuality, or...
Yeah, they didn't have freedom to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? They couldn't work, they couldn't vote, they couldn't do it. They were basically just like there to be their husband's wife.
Okay.
And then I also think it goes back to possessiveness of males that, you know, they want to be with someone that's just been with them.
Yeah.
Right? But they can seek it anywhere else, but they want to feel controlled over that female. And I think with time, it's just, I think like females also are slut shaming each other as well, which...
So some of that lack of acceptance sexually is also from girls to each other.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
It's almost worse.
I think
from
it's
girls.
worse.
Yeah.
I've heard girls are worse to each other than guys are to girls.
And I don't know where that stemmed from. I really don't. Maybe it's more just like a traditional way of thinking of being like a proper woman.
I think
right?
it's a tribal thing.
Yeah.
When you don't fit in, then people sort of attack you.
Totally.
Not attack you, but there's like some human tribalness that it's in our DNA. So because that's how things have always been.
Yeah.
And when you break out of that, it's like you kind of single that person out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. But
I don't know. I honestly don't know where it came from, but I used to be a slut shamer. As you would know, in high school and fucking university, you know, I was like so anti people sleeping with people.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be with your boyfriend and that's it. Like,
well, you should do that when you have a boyfriend.
Right. Right.
Not boyfriend.
When you don't have a boyfriend.
Right.
What you're trying to say
what I'm trying to say is we don't have a
one
boyfriend.
person.
Right, one person.
Or nobody.
Yeah.
Or nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I did
Not
think
that you should cheat on your boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way. I just thought that even in high school, it was like, whoa. Like, the girls that were sleeping with, even with their boyfriends, I was like, fucking sluts.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Even though they had boyfriends?
Yep.
Just because they were having sex too young, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my mentality.
Right, okay.
I still think there's an age where it is too young, but
okay.
I was totally one of them. And then I realized, why am I thinking like this? Like, who cares what they're doing?
Yeah.
If they're happy with it and they're okay with what they're doing, then there's no problem. Especially when did you think that about guys? Maybe you did. No, I never thought that about guys, which is the interesting thing. I was just like, that's what they're gonna do.
But when you think about it, if you break it down mathematically, for every guy there must be a girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it doesn't really work out.
Nope.
Like the numbers are never going to work out.
They're never going to work out.
For your theory when you were that age was that it's never going to work.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I just think that I was so like fixated on like being wholesome. I don't even know where I got that idea. I think it's just like from religion too, right?
Or societal pressures or something.
Yeah. Well, I grew up Catholic, right? So that definitely played a role in it. But I was just like, you're not wholesome if you've slept with somebody or if you slept with multiple people.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you need to be married before you have sex. But I did think that
there should be an emotional relationship there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was just like, nope, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And then I've been listening to a podcast.
Is it the one I'm thinking of? Say it.
It's a Guys We Fucked podcast.
I've heard about that podcast.
I've got to listen to that.
You have
I've got to listen to it because
honestly, it's so.
do they stay
key.
true to the root of the
Yes.
theme, or have they moved on? Because I know they've gotten really popular. Sometimes
They're so popular. It's not about. It's not like they're talking about guys they fucked up. Both of them have boyfriends.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe that was how it started. That's what I was wondering.
That is how it started. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just interviewed like exes that they had been with and
Yeah.
stuff. But now it's this really awesome podcast with two comedians that are hilarious. Number one, but they're just like pumping each other up. Like women should be doing that. Women should not be bashing each other for how they look. Like if a girl is really attractive, you hate them right away.
I find that so funny.
Yeah.
Pretty girls hate pretty girls.
Yeah.
Or every girl hates.
Or
pretty
every
girl.
girl
yeah.
hates pretty girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid. Like
I think it's a part of genetics. Though.
yeah. Oh
Be-
no,
because it's competing for male attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in this podcast, they just talk about, if you want to fuck 5 guys, go do it.
Yeah.
Good on you. Like.
Well, I think if you want to take a stance on that topic, you have to apply it to yourself and to your prospective partners.
Yeah.
You can't. I think the double standard is the problem. If you're the kind of person that's like, I don't want to have any sexual interaction with someone until I'm in a relationship and or married or whatever that is, sure, hold yourself to that standard. And I think that makes it fair enough to hold someone that you want to be with to that standard. Yeah. But you can't be going around town doing something completely different than you expect from your partner. Yeah. That's where I think the issue is. And that's where I think the slut shaming, which sounds so awful.
I know.
The slut shaming doesn't make sense. You can't go and if we're going by stereotypes, you can't be the guy that's going around trying to sleep with tons of different girls because you think it's fun, and not that you shouldn't do that. No. But you can't do that and expect your partner or your future partner to not have done that. Yeah. You did the exact same thing. Yeah.
You know where it was? I think where I figured it out the most, where I was like so disgusted by it, was when I was in Kuwait. I did a clinical placement in the Middle East. And that was when I was really exposed to Muslim culture, which I just think is outrageous. There's just like a lot wrong with it.
Are there double standards?
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. And I just would never want to be that oppressed as a woman. They're so oppressed. You have to cover your face, your arms. If they see a little bit of ankle, tisk, like, come on with that. They don't have any rights. Meanwhile, the dudes are going around fucking all the women, and then they want to be with their one wholesome girl. And
no, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And oh fuck, what was I gonna say? There was this oh shoot, no, I lost the thought. Can't remember.
Gonzos.
Yeah, it's gone.
No, it's all good. No, but that's an example of real extremes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was just so.
There's no equality there.
No.
Yeah.
No, and
but the thing is with sexuality, it's like such a hot topic with men and women being equal. Mm-hmm. And I totally think that if you want that equality between men and women, it has to apply to everything. It has to apply to sexuality.
Everything.
And so you have to accept those facts that like, if you want to be a guy that's stereotypically, I'm repeating myself, but if you want to be a guy that's stereotypically doing what society tells you, which is go have lots of fun, girls are going to do it too.
Girls are going to do it too.
And you can't be upset about it.
Yeah.
And so equality has to be the same across everything.
Yeah.
Including the slut shaming portion.
Totally. The thought came back to me. It's even here in Calgary.
So my rambling got the thought.
Yeah, it really came back to me. So
she clearly wasn't listening.
And I repeated myself, so it wasn't worth listening. Wheels were turning.
The wheels were turning.
Nice.
It happens here. I've had lots of girlfriends that are on Bumble or whatnot, trying to meet somebody, and they're open to all sorts of men, and they've been with men that are Muslim. And on every instance, these men want to fuck around with you, but you will never, they will never marry you. Never. Because they were always going to want to marry a wholesome.
Oh. Does wholesome mean virgin?
Yeah.
Or,
virgin or mostly virgin. Somebody that won't fuck around.
Mostly virgin.
Mostly,
yeah.
Mostly. And like in the Middle East, it was so crazy how much they would just like oppress you.
Yeah.
just in general, it was just like, and what they thought of American/Canadian women.
Oh.
Their perspective of Canadian and is just that you're just an easy target, and they sleep with anybody.
But they're doing it.
I know.
I can't wrap my head around that
I
stuff.
know.
Doesn't
This
make
is
any
the
sense.
part that would just, it was disgusting. It's like, no, I'm not going to sleep with anybody on the planet. No, that's not the case. But that's their perspective.
Yeah.
It's just like, they're just so easy.
But they would do it.
But they would do it in a heartbeat.
That is
But
such a
they're
double
never going to
standard.
marry you.
Yeah.
Because you're not marrying material.
That is such a double standard. And that's what I really have a problem with.
Yeah.
Like
that's slut shaming at its finest.
Yeah, that is the epitome of slut shaming, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, because it's a topic about, like, having a number of partners and all that stuff. I mean, it extrapolates to a lot of things, like where there's inequality between men and women. But that is a hot topic but I think it exposes people's insecurities too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use guys as stereotypical example. He's, guy's going out there and he's trying to have sex with as many women as he can, let's say. And power to him, as long as he's not doing anything against the law. Or like forcing people to do anything. Yes. That's in his right.
Getting tested,
yeah. Wearing protection. He's not doing anything to girls that are not comfortable with. Yeah, he's in his, go for it.
Yeah.
And then that same guy so maybe he's feeding some insecurities there, maybe not, but that same guy is insecure about his partners.
Right.
So is that his partner's fault, or is that his insecurity?
Yeah.
Then
Exactly.
I think that's where some of the slut shaming grows out of. Yeah. I don't know. I've thought about this like many times. And I wonder if it's sort of a genetic thing, like you're supposed to protect the womb, the egg of the woman,
right,
for like genetic prosperity. I don't know.
Well, animals do it too. Like
Yeah?
a herd of deer, and then another bull will come and fight the bull that has the herd and try to take it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like genetics or DNA.
Yeah.
Like it's bred into you.
Maybe it's.
I'm not saying it's okay, but you can see it in other species of animals, sort of.
Yeah, maybe it's in our code, and that's what got us this far. That's how we've had genetic prosperity.
Yeah.
And that the strong survive. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the core of it is I feel bad for men, mostly women, obviously, that just feel so guilty about those actions.
Yeah.
When someone else gets a free pass.
Right.
From the guilt train, anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you gotta listen to that podcast.
Yeah,
it's really
guys, we fucked. That's intense.
The anti-slut shaming podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic about safety,
Yeah.
Me Too movement. What do you think?
Me Too movement.
The interview has reversed.
You're the first guest to ask me a question. I shit you not. 400%.
Really?
That's
No
true,
one
that's
asked
a
me
first.
questions.
Well, here
I'm
we
loving
go.
it though. Me Too movement. I think it has really good intentions.
Okay.
Because if someone feels that they were wrong and they don't have a voice, they should. If this helps them have a voice, then 100% it's very important.
Yeah.
I don't understand it completely as far as what happens when someone says Me Too. Like, what are they referring to in their life?
Right. I think it's different for everybody.
Maybe it is different,
Yeah.
and maybe that doesn't take away from its significance.
Right.
But if everyone, all the people out there are saying Me Too, what are you referring to? And the only thing that I think could have come out of that Me Too movement incorrectly is the reversing something that we do in this part of the world, which is innocent until proven guilty, the guilty until proven innocent situation, where you could be part of like Me Too vis-a-vis someone else. They did this. Immediately you think that person did that. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not quite there. No.
Also not following.
Give me an example.
So if a girl accuses a guy of doing something physically or sexually wrong to her, immediately everyone thinks he did it.
I see.
That's actually
I
reversed.
see.
When a guy says a girl did something to him, generally people are like, shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
So there
Yeah.
is. Sorry, I obviously didn't explain it right the first time, but there's those scenarios where I'm sure if you were to go out to someone and say someone wronged you, in under the Me Too umbrella, which is like the sexual and physicalness of it, they would just believe you.
Yeah.
and I'm not saying you shouldn't believe them, but I think there's some people that are getting wrongly thought of as doing something when maybe they didn't. Or maybe the girl is ashamed of something that happened and she's just putting it under the Me Too umbrella to not feel guilty about it. Know. Maybe because of the slut shaming, whatever it was.
Right.
So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that I think the Me Too movement is great, giving people a voice, but out of it, I think there's been some false guilties that have happened.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. There's a lot of really, really fucking terrible stories about women in college, in mostly American colleges, where male athletes that play for the NCAA hockey team or football team or whatever, these are like celebrities of the school, right?
Yeah.
And the girl will be like, he raped me, like he fully raped me. And then the school will be like, we think you're lying, or we don't believe you. And then another girl will come up, he raped me too. Like, no, he won't get charged, he won't get anything. And then eventually, like, there's a story about this girl who ended up killing herself because the whole school rallied against her, being like, no, that you're lying, you're just trying to get attention. This guy, like, you were asking for it.
Yeah, that's awful. And
then, so that is where I think that more people are believing people. But then I think it's gone to an extreme, like the Aziz Ansari story. Have you heard of the Aziz Ansari?
Not familiar.
I know the person.
You know the person.
I don't know the story.
Okay, well, it was this girl. I don't know how they met, but they went on a date or whatever, and then he was like, well, do you want to come back to my place? And she was like, okay. And then she ended up giving him a blowjob, and then they fucked. And then she was like, I didn't want to do any of that.
Andrew, do you know who he is?
I don't know anything.
He's like you probably need to know, he's like a tiny little brown guy.
Yeah.
Like the most unthreatening comedian you'll ever see.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is he a mild
He's got like
celebrity?
a high-pitched voice.
Yeah. He has a show on Netflix. It's hilarious. You should watch it.
Oh, is he a bit bigger?
No, he's small.
Tiny.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
He's a comedian. He's like a stand-up comedian, but now he has a show.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Continue.
So, so really not a threatening dude, basically, is the story. And this chick was like, he harassed me. We went too far. I didn't want to go that far. So it's like, where do you draw the line? If you didn't feel comfortable at any point, then you should have said no, because she said I didn't say no at any point. But it was after the fact that I was like, I didn't want to do all of that, and I ended up doing it all.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
And they're going to probably villainize him.
Yes.
I'm not sure how the story unfolded.
No, that's exactly what happened.
In any generic case, they'd probably villainize him.
Yeah.
Because they're going to immediately take whatever she said. Even if she made it up that, I didn't want to, and he forced me into it. Yeah. Even if that didn't happen.
Right.
They would take that side from her.
But it's like, okay, I'm sorry, but you did put yourself in that position.
Yes, you said yes going back to his place.
You said you wanted to go back to his place. If you weren't comfortable, I'm sure if you had said, I don't want to go this far, you wouldn't have. But it's not like he was forcing her to do it. It was just that she felt uncomfortable with it and felt like it was too much pressure or something. I forget exactly what happened, but I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
you have to put yourself in situations that you're comfortable with. And as women, the problem is you don't like to say no. Right? You don't like to do all these to hurt somebody's feelings, or you just want to be nice. Like,
yeah.
Ryan is trying to change my mindset because I'm like so nice to people, too much, and then I get shit on in the end.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but you have to get your voice and be like.
Yeah. So she had ample opportunity to not go ahead, and she did, and then she's going back. And the problem, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's a scenario where I don't think he did anything wrong, but he's getting villainized for it.
Right.
The trade-off, though, is let's say you have a few of those situations, but you give tons and tons of women the voice to speak up about something that actually went wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the lesser of two evils or how you want to analyze that, but that is important.
Yeah. It's such a broad spectrum of...
Yeah.
It's a fine line. Like, there's also James Franco. Did you guys hear about James Franco's story? Really? Some of it is like, that was really shitty that he did that. But also, men have to be more aggressive when it comes to putting on the moves, let's say, right? Like,
sure.
It is your job to
initiate
it, right? Most of the time.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to girls who are like, well, he didn't even try. He's like, shit. So,
exactly.
And then
exactly.
well, he tried.
And it was so creepy.
Yeah.
He's such a creep. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, what do you want?
Yeah. What exactly?
What is it? I don't know.
Yeah. It's a really difficult line because you could have one scenario where someone, let's say, a guy moves on a girl.
Yeah.
And he thinks that she's into it. Mm-hmm. So he's being completely, like, he's being innocent.
Yeah.
He's
In his own head, he's
in his own head.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's perception.
Yeah.
And that happens, and then she's offended by it or whatever, and it all blows up. Or there's another scenario where you do the exact same moves, but he knows she's not into it.
Right.
So the same output happened.
Exactly.
But in one scenario, the guy was like, "Oh, I thought
everything was fine."
And in the scenario, the guy's like, "Well, I'll see how far I can push this."
Yeah.
So how do you really assess those two situations?
I know
it's difficult.
Yeah, it is so gray. But then you get like the what's his face? The singer of that Canadian band. He was on Canadian Idol. Oh fuck. Do you know what I'm talking about? No. Oh shoot, he's such a creeper too.
He was
Let me try to find it. Canadian Idol. Did he win?
No, he was like third place on it. It's a really popular band. Anyways,
what happened?
He because he's a celebrity, right? So he would like.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
No, that is not it. Oh shit! You guys know him.
Do you know what season it was or something?
I'm not good with names.
There's 6 seasons.
What happened?
No. Well, so
Drew Wright.
No. No, do like assault Canadian Idol.
Oh god, it's terrible.
He ended up bringing people back to their hotel, like paying for the girls to come back, and then there's a story. It's really fucking terrible of this woman who was married and like going through something with her husband at the time. Headley.
Oh, Jacob Hoggard?
Yes.
Hoggard?
Yeah.
Hoggard, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So you didn't hear any of this?
No, sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay, so multiple women came forward and shared their stories about him basically raping them.
What?
They would go to the hotel because they're into it, and they'd be like, we know that we were going to have sex. We obviously knew that was going to happen, but it was so aggressive in that he would like flip them over, and then like they would do anal when so this woman who was married was like, these are my hard nose, no anal.
Yeah.
And he did it. And then like no like pulling my hair, like whatever.
Yeah,
like,
there's some boundaries there.
There was some boundaries laid out, and he completely ignored all of them, just to the point where like it was rape, sort of.
I was going to say tough line because they kind of agreed to the intercourse.
Exactly,
but they did not agree to all that other stuff.
To everything else.
Yeah. That
went down. So it's like, is that? But he's a person where I'm like, fuck that dude. He's a nasty dude.
Yeah.
And he did it with multiple people.
Yeah. You think in that scenario, you're pretty sure that the person's not a good person, right?
Yes.
Well, if you're doing it intentionally, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're also just hearing what the women have to say. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's scenarios where what the woman is expressing about what happened isn't what happened, or they're ashamed about what happened, so they're rewording the story to look like it was the guy that pushed it too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
I think as a umbrella statement, I think it's a good thing from people feeling they can talk about something that happened to them that was wrong.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be some collateral damage.
Oh yeah.
And people taking advantage of the moment to sort of pin something on someone that didn't really happen, or something that they aren't happy about or content with, and they just sort of put it on the other person.
Yeah.
So I think there's some collateral damage there, but I think the MeToo movement hopefully overall gives women and men, for that matter, a voice. So
I do. If there's anything that comes out of it, I hope women will just be, or whoever it is, will just be more comfortable and confident with like laying out boundaries and saying what they're comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with, and saying no.
Yeah.
And being like, nope, this position or this me going up this sex position is not good for me.
This position.
No, putting yourself in a position where you know that something might go down that you're not comfortable with, then say no to that.
Speaking up's important. Like, I think a number one complaint of guys is girls do not tell them what they're thinking.
what they're actually thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might
That's a
have
huge
some
fault.
reaction that's really
Yeah.
obscure because you thought everything was okay.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it doesn't have to just be about sex and advancements, but
anything.
anything.
It's
Yeah.
even like, do they want to date me?
Yeah.
Girl never says anything. And you're just like completely confused.
Yeah, and they're like, "Can you believe that creep asked me out on a date?"
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
or the reverse, like you said, was, "Oh, why hasn't he asked me out on a date yet?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
do, in a lot of circumstances, feel bad for men, especially in the dating world, because
Yeah, you should feel bad for
either
us.
get ghosted. No, I mean, guys will fucking ghost girls all the time without being like, I just don't like you.
Oh,
You know, like,
the ghost game is
the
strong.
ghost game sucks. It is so mean. Like, I have a girlfriend who, I'm so proud of her, because she tells the guy every time, you know what, I'm not into it, and this is why. And I'm like,
in bullet points.
yeah, yeah. For this, and this reason. One of them was a Muslim dude who she knew he wouldn't marry her in the end.
Well,
right?
that's fair. She
Yeah.
wants to find the one.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was like, nobody ever does that. I remember dating guys and being like, this guy sucks. I'm never going to see him again. And then he'd be like, what's going on? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it's harder to
Nothing,
make.
it's me. It's not a
it's
good time.
me.
And then, meanwhile, I'll find a boyfriend a week later. you
Yeah,
know?
you should rip the Band-Aid off and just be like, "Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
I'm not into
for
it.
this reason." Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
People
glad.
are scared of hurting people's feelings. I
Yeah,
think.
that's a big thing. I think the honesty part is important. And going back to the Me Too stuff, like, as long as people are comfortable and like don't feel like they're doing something they shouldn't,
Yeah.
or they don't want to do. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Then that's the important part.
Yeah.
And going into dating and stuff too, just be honest about what you want.
Yeah.
You know, in both scenarios, like,
Yeah.
this is something, you know, this isn't going to work out, or no, I don't want to do this weird ass thing that you
Yeah.
want me to do on the first night we're together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In both cases, that honesty and the comfortableness is important, right?
And staying true to yourself. Like, if you know that that's not something you want to do, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
But you're right. There's a lot of pressure.
So much
It's-
pressure.
It's not easy.
So easier. It's so much easier.
It's
said
so
than
easy to
done.
say, like, just do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, life isn't always that
No,
simple.
no.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it every day. I'm like, oh, but they're so nice. Come on. Like, I don't want to be mean to them. Like, for example, we had the fire alarm testing in our building, and I got home and the door was unlocked, and they didn't return the key. So I was like, what the fuck? Somebody has my key, and they left the door open. So if I had drafted an email to the property management company, it probably would have looked like, hello, thank you for checking my fire alarm, and it looked like the door was unlocked. Can't find my key. Can you please return it? No, Ryan drafted it up. It was like, where is my key? This is totally unacceptable, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that probably would have worked better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. How you react to situations is part of it too.
how you
right?
react and don't want to hurt people's feelings. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult to figure that out because sometimes maybe being really brash isn't going to help you, right?
Right.
So you want to be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll actually make things better.
Right.
It's so difficult to judge those
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah, and if
how
you're
to
not
react.
mean enough, then you're not going to get what you want.
Or
in the end.
if you dial it back to any sort of dating scenario, like, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings.
No,
Like,
it sucks to do that.
Maybe there's something about them that they're really insecure about.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You've
for you, it's a
highlighted it.
deal breaker.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Like, do you want to tell them that? Like, they probably
know.
already know that.
Yeah.
And you need to explain that to them.
I know.
So yeah, you don't want to hurt their feelings. At the same time, you should be honest. You don't waste people's time. Yeah, life is tricky that way.
I know.
It's really, really difficult.
I'm really happy I'm not in the dating game right now.
Yeah.
I really do think it's a hard time. And I
It's
think people's expectations of other people is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why they're not having success.
Guy, specifically guy to girl, girl to
Both.
guy, or in general?
Both.
What are some unrealistic expectations?
Like a guy who's a 6 wanting a 10. All right? Not going to happen.
What? I don't want to say it's not going to happen.
I mean, it
I
might
mean,
happen, but
What if looks is only important to one person? If you're talking about 6 out of 10 looks.
right. No, I mean, that was just one rule or one example. I think that.
So don't shoot for the stars.
Expectations low.
No, I
Yeah.
just think that people are like swiping. Like, I had this girl tell me the other day, like, everybody that writes oil and gas or like oil patch worker or laborer. Nope. Why though?
But doesn't she have the right to
She has the right
pick what she wants?
She's so narrow-minded then.
Well, that's
You
her
gotta
right.
open
That's her
yourself
right.
up.
She can't complain if she's not finding a partner.
Yeah.
Probably complains.
Oh yeah, exactly. Can't
Okay.
meet anyone. It can't
Okay.
meet anyone
Well, in
because
that
you have
case-
these strict. Oh, I want a white human.
But knowing what
a white person only.
yeah, but knowing what you want, I
Mm-hmm.
think I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're in
Then
the dating
never
scene,
gonna find it if
and
you're so narrow-minded.
there's a lot of people in this world. Even if you do the probability theories, you might find it.
I do, but what I disagree with that is, you might not know what you're missing out on if you open yourself up a little bit more.
Yeah, but you should always go after what you want in a partner, or else over time it's going to come out that that partner doesn't match what you want.
You
In
might not
terms of-
know what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe
In
you don't know
terms-
what you
thanks,
want.
Thanks, Thomas. In terms of what though, like just looks, job,
Anything.
because you're never gonna know their whole personality. And if you actually might be a perfect match energy-wise
Holla!
with them, if you're just so narrowly focused on their appearance.
Okay, no, you're right. I'm not trying to say appearance specifically, but
Or
I'm saying
job.
if there's certain or job. I'm saying, are there specific things in the person you want? And if you have a lot of those, you shouldn't restrict it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, go after what you want.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go out for dinner and you want something very specific, like, go do that. You might be disappointed otherwise. And if you extrapolate that to a partner, like, if you have to be together for decades, you may as well find someone that matches what you want, assuming you know what you want, right? Like, if you're like, oh, I'm going to settle for this person, don't you think over time you won't be as happy, or you'll think, oh, I shouldn't have settled? I don't know.
I don't think she's saying settle.
I'm not saying settle
I think
at
she's
all.
saying
Open your
stop
mind.
dismissing people.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So give it a chance.
I'm saying just open yourself up to the possibility that maybe what you think you want is not actually what's perfect for you.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Fair enough. I guess I was thinking of scenarios like, let's say you want someone who likes to travel.
Yeah.
It's very important to you.
Yes.
And you meet someone, and I
doesn't
don't know
like
how
to
you had this
travel.
conversation. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't like traveling.
Right.
I
Done.
always want to just go home and sit in my house for the rest of my life.
No, totally agree. Yes.
But I'm saying you shouldn't compromise that. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to say. And if you have
Okay.
a list of those things, even if it's long and
Yeah.
somewhat specific, I don't think you should compromise
Right.
it. That's
no,
what I was trying to say.
totally agree with you. I was thinking more of the Bumble scenario or Tinder scenario where you're
Okay.
just swiping based on like 3 criteria.
So you're not including people because of criteria. You're just excluding people
Yes.
because of criteria.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not giving it a chance.
Yeah. And then like not every person, you might not hit it off with every person like right off the bat. Like I had this rule with this friend of mine who she was like just a hit on Bumble. Like she's a gorgeous girl.
Oh, she was a hit.
She was
Just
a hit.
Match City.
Oh yes, with anybody.
Thousands.
And, yes, and then she would like not waste time. Obviously, it's like let's go on a date instead of talking for like 3 weeks and then nothing ever happens. And then if she doesn't like get that energy right away or
Yeah.
like feel it right away, then her and I are like, well, let's give it 3 dates.
3?
3 dates.
That's generous.
You think so?
That is generous. If you're going on a lot of dates, I guess.
I wouldn't go past 1.
What?
Yeah.
But like, what if the person's super nervous the first time they meet you and they're not actually like
I
being
could.
their
I would
true
do 2.
selves?
I think, to get beyond that.
Okay.
But then 3's a lot. I'd say.
3's a lot.
I
It's
think-
not that big of a commitment. It's like 3 dinners.
Well, not when you're not paying for it. #equality. But
You split it.
bombs. I'm sorry, bombs.
Oh my.
bombs.
But that's good. Go on with the 3 dates.
3 dates to
Well,
really get
then
a
that's
feel
a-
for that
that's
person.
awesome if you
I think
go- if
it's
you
like
do that.
commitment, and it's giving people a chance. And I think that that's where a lot of people that are not successful in finding relationships is because they aren't giving it a chance.
So they're just going so surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're probably right, and definitely you get to know people after a while. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you get to know people after a while, but you get to know the things that maybe we're really compatible with.
Yeah.
And yeah, nerves are for sure a case on the first date.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe by the end, hopefully you'd see some of your qualities that you're interested or not interested in. But maybe that doesn't come out in one date.
On the first date,
Maybe doesn't at all.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm 100% a hypocrite because the first date that I went on was solid. Like, it was a great date where you're like, I like this guy. We both like each other. And the rest was history. So maybe if I hadn't had that experience the first time, I still would have probably given it one more chance. But I did go on a date before I met Ryan with somebody else, and it was so fucking bad.
But did you give it a chance?
Can we have details on why it was bad?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, okay, if we want to talk superficial level first, it was the parachute jeans.
Parachute jeans. What does that mean? They don't fit?
No. It's like the legs were so wide from the top to bottom.
So his fashion sense was off.
Yeah, and like that's fixable.
Like horribly off.
Yes, so horribly off. So I was like, oh shit, okay, that's okay. Like fashion can be fixed.
Yeah.
I fix it all right up. If you're mine.
Of course. Girls like doing that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
You dress for the way you want them to be dressed. Okay. Number 2, was the travel thing. That's an interesting thing. He just never traveled ever. And so that was a big no. And then, what was the other thing? I wasn't like unattracted to him physically, but the conversation didn't flow.
Right.
It was like, it was work. It was like, okay, and yeah, it didn't flow. Whereas on the date that I went with Ryan, it was like,
did you have that like
ending.
Energy connection?
No, yeah, I was lacking the energy. I'm a high energy person, and he was not, but it was too far gone for him. And then I think he probably felt that way about me too. Something was not right, but I don't think he thought we were compatible because I didn't hear from him again, and I definitely didn't text him again.
You can definitely feel it when, like, someone's not into you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, they're not into me. And then,
yeah.
I don't know if that was the case or if he actually just wasn't into me, which is a total possibility. Yeah. So in that scenario, I didn't go out on another date because
broke your own rules.
I did break my. That's why I'm saying I'm a hypocrite. But I think that if the conversation continues and if somebody is into it and they want to keep it going,
give it a chance.
Then I would give it a chance. But if both parties are like, nope.
So it's mutually kind of,
it was
we're not vibing here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So last thing I wanted to chat about was what you think is really important in an awesome relationship. Like, what are the things that have to line up?
What are the things that have to line up?
Because I'll give my take on it first. Let me know what you think. One of the things, there's a few of them, but one of them that's really, really important is, do you have the same values? Mm-hmm. That sounds so cliche, but if you actually don't look at the world the same way, probably have a lot of conflicts.
Yeah.
Second thing I'd say, honestly, is do you look at money the same way?
Oh my God, that was my number 1.
Yeah, yes. It's really important. Like whatever
spending habits,
what
saving habits.
Exactly. Your perspective on what you should do, where you should put your dollars, what's important with money. And I'm not trying to instill any one way of looking at it, but you and your partner have to look at it the same way.
There's no question about it.
And I'd say the third one is really a good grip on your boundaries on what's okay in a relationship or not, as far as like flirting with other people or like I think there's some boundaries there that aren't always in agreement between two people, because people look at what's okay and what's not okay differently. So those 3 things I think are insanely important. Have come to light to me more over the last couple of years. So I wanted to know what you thought about them and any others that you want to add to that list.
Interesting. Well, I think it's all values. I think it's
all
different values, right? So the way you value money and what you do with your money, right?
So you're branching out from the values.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I like that.
Okay, so that's where I'm going. So, yeah, I think that would be close to my number 1 on that one. Sexuality is so important in any relationship. There's
huge.
No question about it. You have to be if one person is hypersexual and the other one is not,
Yeah.
that's gonna always be an issue.
May I make an example of this?
Yeah.
Oh, this will be
Okay, please tell me.
Because I find that very interesting, and I think you cannot have a huge difference. And one example I want to give is, even if it's close, it feels very different. So let's say one person wants to have sex 6 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
One person wants to have sex 5. So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But the 5 column fills up before 6, always.
Right.
So every week or every instance, it feels, I think the perception would be, it feels like the one person is always making the move on the other person, guy or girl. Always, even though they're close.
52 weeks a year.
52 weeks a year. And if you're lucky, a few decades of marriage. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like one person's sort of sexual container always fills up.
Yeah.
And the other
they're always
person's
satisfied.
feels like they have to put extra effort in for their last
one. Yeah.
So if it's very different, wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's why I find that. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you too much, but that's why I find even if it's slightly different, it can feel like a huge difference. So I can't even imagine if it's vastly different. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And it's hard. I think what happens in life is it ebbs and flows, and people feel more connected and at times, and they feel less connected at other times, right? So it's always going to be. It might never match up perfectly, but I think that if you're willing, like, I think you have to have that communication at least about it.
You can have a communication, but I don't think you can put. I think you have to match. I just don't think you can just communicate and get over it. Like, I think you can deal with it.
Yeah.
But if you don't match that way, I think one person is going to feel. It's not even just sexually unsatisfied. Like, that's part of it too. Mm-hmm. But there's so many things that go into sex, I think, in a relationship, as far as feeling wanted and a connection and closeness.
Yeah.
So if the sexual part of a relationship felt like it's lacking by one partner, it could extrapolate to all those other things.
Yeah.
Where like you don't feel wanted and all that other stuff. So I agree that you can communicate.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a vastly uphill battle if you don't match, or if you're at least fucking close.
What about the scenario where a person is not feeling good about themselves, just in general, like they've gained a bit of weight and they're a bit depressed?
Yeah, but ultimately that person in a normal scenario is still at that matching sexuality level.
Well, not at that time.
Of course, but I'm saying
right.
You can always get back to that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying if you right off the bat not matching, I'd say you have a really tough time.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, you know, everyone has like confidence changes and insecurities, and like, some days you don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel wanted in general, even if it's not your partner's fault. You just don't feel good.
Yeah.
100% agree that happens. Those are just sort of fluctuations in a relationship.
Yeah.
But imagine if you weren't even in a normal scenario matching.
Yeah.
I think that'd be tough.
I think so too. So I think that you have to be similar sexuality, and it's super important the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and those are the 3 things that cause the most divorce: sex, money, and I forget the third one.
Why did you say the 3 things?
She was on a roll. But no, I've read the same thing.
I always forget the
Forgetfulness
third one.
is the third one.
I've read that too. And I think it had to do, I'm probably just shooting in the dark here, but I think it had to do with like values, and I know those 2 things you mentioned are values.
Yes.
But things about what the way to raise children. Sort of values around the way you want to live your life, because that conflicts between you two and really exposes yourself when you're talking about raising children.
Totally.
From my understanding, that's the third one of this mystery.
I think I'm going to Google it and make it
But
back
could you
to
look it up, Thomas, quick?
Yeah, I can look it up. Let's look it up.
It's a running joke on this podcast for me to say, it's funny you say that.
Oh, here we go.
It's funny you say that, because I looked up the same thing, and that's why I brought up those initial topics. I was going to say sexuality too, but it's almost like it's a shoo-in. Like, if it's not there, it's not going to happen.
Oh, I know. Yeah, totally. But and then I think the other thing that is largely under
infidelity?
Nope.
Lack of communication.
Communication, that was mine. I think that you need to just be a solid communicator and understand. Have you guys heard of the love languages?
Oh yeah, you know,
Andrew's a love language honk.
I'm a fanatic. I'm a fanatic of the love languages. I never thought I would be. I remember when Trish and I don't even know if we were dating yet. Either way, it was before we were dating or early on in our dating. She's like, "Do you want to take this love language test?" I was like,
Oh my.
"Okay."
That's early.
Yeah. It was early. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "What is this nonsense?" Like, I mean, I cared about her and I trust her, so I was like, "I'll give this a shot." But it was so accurate.
Yeah.
It's
bang on.
It's bang on, and we've talked about this before. And I think the important thing you take out of it, and sorry, I'll explain it quickly, is basically you take a test and it has all these questionnaires and it's discussing the way you show and receive love.
There's different.
And there's
like
five major ones,
Yeah.
and you kind of rank. There's maybe a couple major ones and ones that fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
The 5 ones are physical touch.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Gifts.
Yeah.
Quality time.
Quality time.
Eesh.
Like favors.
Oh,
What was
acts
that?
of kindness.
Acts of kindness.
Acts of service.
Service.
Oh
Or,
yeah,
acts of
I can't believe I forgot
I
about
call
that.
it favors.
Because I'm holding you accountable for it. acts of service. Sorry, that one is the biggest one for me. So
How did you forget that one?
I don't know. This is so obvious. Anyway, I did the same test.
Yeah.
And we found there was we were similar on a couple, but 2 were vastly different.
Yeah.
And it's not a travesty at that point. Because obviously you'd have everything line up perfectly, but if you can just be conscious of what your other person wants to see in your love,
Yeah.
then you can make that effort and it's okay.
Absolutely.
So that expression of love is very important.
So important.
And that love languages will help you get there.
It totally helped me figure out how I like to receive my love, and I give my love the same way that I receive it.
So what are yours? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
So I swear to God, I'm all of them. But the main ones are...
That's not how it works.
That doesn't... Okay, well, I scored as gifts. It was number 1.
Really?
I like to receive gifts. And
That
they don't
is
have to be big gifts. They can
Gifts?
Gifts. I know. I was shocked when it came out too, but it's true. Like...
Is it because your parents just gave you so much stuff over the years?
No, because they didn't.
I don't think that's what gifts means.
Yeah.
It's like someone thinking
Of you.
Bad jokes.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, terrible joke again.
I say that because I'm defensive because I was like, gifts was like number 2, I think.
Oh, you did it too, Thomas.
I did do it, but I forget. Don't ask me what they were.
Okay, we won't ask you.
I know gifts was one of them.
Yeah, well, it's more like it's because that they've thought of you, and they're like, like one of the third or fourth dates that I went with Ryan on, he remembered my favorite kind of chips, and if you know me, I love chips.
Chantel's chip game. I mean, I've never seen someone of your size being small, eat so many chips in a sitting.
I fucking love chips.
You could take me to school.
Oh, I could eat.
I mean,
oh.
I won't go on any further,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love
wouldn't.
chips.
I don't think I'd beat you in a chip eating competition.
No,
That's all I'm
nobody
gonna
would.
say.
So he bought me a bag of chips because he knew I was hungover or whatever, something like that.
What was the kind?
Ruffles all dressed.
Oh, not that kettle chip. You didn't go deep.
I do like that. I mean, I don't discriminate. I'll eat all chips. But my favorite of all time is Ruffles all dressed, and he remembered, and I was like, that really hit home. You know what I mean? Like, or.
So what else is gifts? What else?
Okay, so that was number 1. Number 2 was physical touch.
I think that's big with girls. I don't want to be sexist.
No, probably.
It's like
My girlfriend, physical touch.
my girlfriend, same thing.
Yeah, physical
Mine
touch.
was like not physical touch. I know
Mine was
that.
also way low on physical touch.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
that's okay.
Sorry, number 2
No,
for
and
you.
then number
or-
3 was quality time. And I swear that sometimes quality time would be number 1. And it's mostly the way people communicate. Like, when I'm talking to somebody, I need eye contact. I need them looking, and I need them engaging. And Ryan is not like that. He doesn't like to make eye contact as much, but I know he's listening, and that's the thing. He gets upset because I'm like, you're not even fucking listening to anything I have to say, but he is. He's just not giving me that quality.
Not what you're looking
communications.
for.
Yes.
That's the different perspectives on communicating. Well, like love is that.
Yes.
And from his point of view, he's doing exactly
He's
what.
doing a perfect job at it.
Yeah, and from your point of view, he's not, and that's the interesting thing. Part of it, you both think you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
It's just not, you're not crossing over. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the 3. Brian still has to take the test. So.
Oh.
But I'm reading the book.
I thought he was a man of medicine.
Have you read the book?
No, Trish wants me to read it, but I'm going to arrogantly say I think I get the gist of it.
No, I thought I did too, but then there's a lot of extra details in there.
Bombs.
So funny you say that.
I didn't even know there was a book.
It's funny you say that. Yeah. No, it's going to kill me. I got maybe 3 more times I can use that line.
Even Trish has told you to stop saying it.
I know. Yeah. It's bad.
So I think those are the 3.
Those are the 3, yeah. And the book, I heard the same thing about the book. Like, it really goes into depth. But, for me, it's acts of service number 1, bar none.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that would be Ryan's too, yeah.
And I think, I don't want to be sexist again, but I think it's a guy thing. Like, if I think, whenever I want to be like, oh, I want to, like a whole relationship, sometimes I'm like, I just want to do stuff for her. Like, if she needs something, like if she asks me to do something, 100% I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. That's because she's in the acts of service game. Like, that's my game.
Right.
Right? Like, she's like, please, like, she'll send me an email, like, can you print this for me? Or like 100%.
You're scoring
1,000 out of 1,000 times I'm printing that paper, folding it properly, will not get wrinkled on the way home. You will get it when you get, but because that's what I'm good at.
And that's how you show your love.
Yeah. So it was acts of service. It was also quality time.
Okay.
And then bottom of the barrel was gifts and physical touch. So that was the big difference between us, was physical touch. For her, that's the way she shows love and wants to receive love. So for me, as unnatural as it's felt, and not in a bad way, just doesn't come as naturally, I try to be more physically affectionate, right? And it works. It just doesn't come naturally. You just have to work at it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I learned out of that whole.
Just touch her.
Yeah, just paw her. But for her, since it's so important to her, she appreciates any sort of, like, I don't have to go off the deep end to show that physical touch. For her, since it's so meaningful for her, whatever little acts of physical touch that come up, it's like, it's special for her.
Yeah, like a hand on the thigh.
Yeah, all those little things.
I've actually noticed you do that at the bar. And I'm like, what the hell is Andrew doing?
Yeah, it's foreign to me too, man. I'm not really sure what's going on. Do I put this here or? Yeah, but it's weird how foreign it feels because it's not
she's
your.
Probably just loving it.
Yeah. So that's important. So breaking it down back to what's important in a relationship. 100%. The values of the way you spend money.
Yes.
You're the way it showed love.
Yeah.
For me, it's also like being okay, understanding what's okay in a relationship.
Yeah.
As far as crossing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people don't always agree on that.
Uh-huh.
And
I think religion would probably be a big one if you were religious. Like, you either both have to be like religious or not.
Exactly. That's a huge thing.
So
and that
it's undervalued because I think we're all in scenarios where we're the exact same. But we're not religious.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
But if you were dating a Christian.
Yeah, but what about the... I can't say that line again. It's funny because there's an episode of what is it? What's that? Silicon Valley. I won't ruin it if anyone's seen it, but Silicon Valley is like very progressive, like tech, like religion is not in their genre.
Right.
Anyway, some guy in the episode is Christian, and it just everything blows up because he's religious. Yeah. So,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. If there's one person that's highly religious, and the other's not.
Yeah. No, I've just why I asked you that was I've kind of learned over a little bit of time, and there's lots more to learn about that. Is that there's some very, very important things that you have to see eye to eye on in a relationship. And for me, like how you spend money, and again, I want to emphasize it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you agree on it. Yeah. And that's something that
there's no right or wrong.
My girlfriend and I mostly agree on, and we have similar tastes and other things, like we sort of like similar things. It just makes the relationship easier.
Totally.
But if you don't have those core values, those core ideas the same, I think you're fucked.
So fucked.
Yeah.
And especially...
And if you're fucking other people, also, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that either.
Yeah. Infidel. Yeah. Unless you're okay with it in an open relationship.
Yeah. That's what I actually once mentioned it. This was wildly an unpopular opinion. Mm-hmm. But it was, do you think that people in open relations are the most comfortable...
Successful.
Or no, not...
Oh.
The most comfortable with each other. They're so comfortable with their relationship. They're okay with their partner sleeping 100%. With their people. Yeah, that was a vastly unpopular opinion.
No, I
won't name
honestly
names.
think that they might be the most solid relationship
like if
on
you're
the planet.
so so in tune with your partner and so confident in a relationship that you're okay with them sleeping with someone else. Like I can't even fathom that or fathom that.
Yeah.
I said it on purpose. I always used to make that mistake, and Chantel is a speech path, so she helped me in the journey. So I always say phantom now. I can't even phantom that.
I can't phantom it.
Like I would be so mad.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, are they on some next level shit?
Yeah.
Where they are okay with that? I don't know.
They are.
But I'm not there. For sure, 100% not there.
No, I feel the same way.
So.
To get to that level, you would need the most trust in the whole world.
Yeah. But if you can break it down, you can scale it back and go to a scenario where like you say, you and Ryan, you're not worried about him at the bar talking to other girls. Like, obviously his intentions are perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But you're not bothered if some girl comes and flirts with him or something like that. That might be a diluted form of like someone sleeping with your partner. Do you think?
Yeah.
Or no? Is that like a super hyper example of that comfort that you have where you can break it down to being okay with your partner flirting with other people?
I think it's trust, again. Because it's
exactly.
Like, again.
Do you trust them?
Do you trust that they're going to come back to you and love you and not do something that you're not comfortable with, and they know exactly what you wouldn't be comfortable with?
Yeah, for me, and I'm glad you said trust, that's one of the biggest things. Like, I trust like Trish 100%. Mm-hmm. That so like I have nothing to worry about. Like whatever decision she makes, I'm like, for sure I'm okay with it. Yeah. Because I trust that.
Exactly.
So I think to add to that list of things that are gonna make a relationship great. Trust. Great sex. Mm-hmm. Equal values.
Yeah.
And specifically in the values game, the way you spend money.
Yeah. And the way you communicate.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if we would have thought of this when we were in high school together. Fuck no. It's a journey.
We've been on this journey for a while.
It's been a long fucking time.
We're really getting somewhere, though.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. We're getting...
One thing you said great sex.
We go on.
You're assuming you and Trish have great sex? Or do all couples have great sex?
Mm.
Or just like sexual drives?
I should be specific. I should say sexual compatibility. Because sometimes you might not have great sex. Like you said, someone doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Or it could be even something more extreme, like someone's very sick.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say great sex. I should say great sexual compatibility.
Mm-hmm. Sexual compatibility.
Yeah.
That both people are getting what they want out of it.
Yeah. In a normal, good scenario.
Yeah.
Because sometimes sometimes life gets in the way, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like in an optimal... In an optimum scenario. Yeah.
Okay.
Optimum scenario.
An optimum scenario?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
In that case, and it should be in that case that, things should be great sexually.
Yes.
Because...
Like vacation.
The vacation is...
It's perfect scenario.
If you're not sexually compatible on holidays, it's over.
It's game over.
It's game over because that's best case scenario. Yeah. I'm saying in a best case scenario, you should be very sexually compatible because if not, then you're never going to be. Yeah.
And if no sex is what you guys like, don't do it. And that's compatible too.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you agree. Does that answer your question, Thomas?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, I think we should. We've been talking for a while.
I know. I could talk all day, but wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming. I'll have you on again once to talk about speech path specifically.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, right.
We really didn't talk about that at all.
No.
But I do. really like your opinion on relationships and male and female
Ditto.
equality. I know maybe there's a perception slightly that like you're being feminist about your opinions, but I don't think so. I think you just have strong opinions and they're important because from what you're saying, you really agree in the equality and
Yeah.
bringing light to things about different genders that should be brought to light that's been oppressed for a long time. And this, at the same point, I think you have an awesome relationship, so I'd like to hear about that too, because it sounds like things are going great. Yeah, you have great energy, Chantel. Honestly, yeah, between those two things.
This is great.
Yeah.
You've always been the one friend that I've gone to to get that unfiltered male opinion.
Which is not fun sometimes.
Sometimes not fun, but
yeah,
need it sometimes.
Yeah,
So I'll get it right back to you.
I appreciate it.
Female
Well,
friend.
yeah, well, you got it right. That's what friends are for,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I think that's what good friends are for.
Yeah.
No, you're awesome, Chantal. I feel that energy from you. You've got that great positivity and something that a lot of people want to be around. And you've got a great perspective on things. And I'm sure I'll be sad when you move away. But
Come visit me.
while the time lasts, it's always good to have you around.
Ditto.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.